Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Timeless Wisdom, where we delve into the real issues that matter as we grow older. Now, have you ever been in a crowded room and found yourself the only one reaching for a sweater while everyone else seems quite comfortable? Or perhaps despite wearing multiple layers, your hands and feet remain cold as ice. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. The sensation of feeling colder with age is not a figment of our imagination. It is a genuine biological change that affects many of us. Today, we're going to explore the science behind this phenomenon and, more importantly, discuss what you can do to remain warm and cozy throughout the year. So, grab a warm cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive in. And hey, if you find this video useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss out on tips for staying healthy, strong, and independent as we cherish our golden years together. Now, why do we feel colder as we age? Let's think about how our bodies regulate temperature. When we were younger, our internal thermostat worked like a charm, whether it was a chilly winter morning or a warm summer night. Our bodies adjusted without us even noticing. But as we age, that thermostat, controlled by a tiny but powerful part of our brain called the hypothalamus, starts to slow down. The hypothalamus is like a weather station inside us, constantly monitoring our body temperature. When it senses cold, it jumps into action, telling our blood vessels to tighten up and keep the heat where we need it most, around our heart, lungs, and other vital organs. It might even make us shiver, a natural way to generate warmth by activating our muscles. But here's the problem. As we get older, the hypothalamus doesn't react as fast or as strongly as it used to. It takes longer to notice the cold, and when it finally does, the response isn't as effective. That's why we often feel chilled before our body even realizes it needs to warm up. And by the time it does, we're already bundled up under blankets, wondering why we still feel cold. Now, my friends, let's dive deeper. We already know that our internal thermostat by hypothalamus doesn't work quite like it used to, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. There are other changes happening in our bodies that make us feel colder, even when everyone else seems perfectly fine. And believe me, you're not imagining it. A slower metabolism, our furnace burns lower. You know, back in the day, I could eat a big plate of food, get up, and feel like I had energy to last all day. But now, that same meal doesn't quite do the trick. Why? Because as we age, our metabolism naturally slows down. And when metabolism slows, so does our ability to produce body heat. Think of it like this. When we were younger, our bodies were like a roaring fireplace, constantly burning fuel and radiating warmth. But over time, that fire burns a little lower, a little slower. We don't produce as much heat as we used to, which makes us more sensitive to even the slightest chill. And here's the thing. Many of us aren't eating as much as we used to. Maybe we're less hungry, maybe certain foods don't sit well with us anymore, or maybe cooking a big meal just feels like too much effort. But when we eat less, we're also giving our bodies less fuel to burn, which means even less warmth. That's why some of us feel especially cold when we're sitting still for too long. The body just isn't generating enough heat on its own. Thinner skin and less protective fat, losing our natural insulation. Have you ever looked at your hands and thought, wow, my skin looks thinner than it used to? That's because it is. As we age, we lose collagen and our skin becomes more delicate. But that's not all. We also lose the protective fat layer under our skin, which used to act like nature's insulation, keeping us warm without us even realizing it. It's like replacing a thick winter coat with a light windbreaker. Suddenly, the cold seeps in much faster. This is why so many of us find that our hands and feet get cold first, even when the rest of our body feels okay. It's not just the air around us, it's the way our body holds on to heat, or in this case, loses it too quickly. Poor circulation. Why our hands and feet feel like ice. Now let's talk about something that almost every senior I know has complained about: cold hands and feet. If you've ever reached out to hold your grandchild's hand and they say, "Grandma, your hands are freezing," you're not alone. That's because our circulation slows down as we age. Our blood vessels don't expand and contract as efficiently as they used to, which means less warm blood reaches our fingers and toes. And let's be honest, many of us aren't moving around as much as we once did, which makes circulation even slower. And if you have conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, disease, the problem gets even worse. The body prioritizes sending blood to vital organs like the heart and brain, which means our extremities often get left out in the cold, quite literally. Ever notice that after sitting for a while, your feet feel numb and cold? That's circulation at work, or rather, not at work. It's not just about the air temperature. It's about how well our body is moving warm blood to where it's needed. Health conditions that can make you feel even colder. Now, feeling cold can be frustrating, but for some of us, it's more than just an annoyance. It's actually a symptom of an underlying health condition. Take diabetes, for example. Many seniors have it, and it can damage the nerves in our hands and feet, making them feel cold even when they're not. And let's talk about hypothyroidism, a condition that's far more common in older adults than many people realize. When your thyroid isn't producing enough hormones, your metabolism slows down even more, making you feel like you're constantly in a cold room, even when others are just fine. Then there's anemia. When our red blood cell count is low, our body doesn't transport oxygen as efficiently, and you guessed it, that leads to feeling cold all the time. If you've noticed that you feel tired, weak, or even a little lightheaded, along with always being cold, it might be worth talking to your doctor. Could your medication be making you colder? Now, here's something that many people don't think about. Medications can play a role in making you feel colder too. I know. We take a lot of medications these days, but did you know that some of the very pills that keep us healthy could also be messing with our body's temperature regulation? For example, beta blockers, which many of us take for high blood pressure, can slow down circulation, making it harder for our hands and feet to stay warm. Antidepressants can affect how our body regulates temperature, and blood thinners, while great for preventing clots, can make it harder for our body to hold on to heat. Ever notice that you started feeling colder after starting a new medication? It might not be a coincidence. If you think your medication is making you feel unusually chilly, talk to your doctor. Sometimes there are alternative options that won't leave you shivering. How to stay warm. So, what can we do about it? All right, my friends, we've covered a lot so far. Our metabolism slows down, our skin gets thinner, our circulation isn't what it used to be, and even our medications can play a role in making us feel colder. But don't worry, because I wouldn't leave you hanging without solutions. In the next part, we're going to talk about simple, effective ways to keep warm, from the clothes we wear to the foods we eat, to the little habits that can make a big difference. So don't go anywhere, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on these essential tips. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Now, my friends, we've talked about why we feel colder as we age, but now it's time to focus on what really matters. How do we stay warm and comfortable, no matter the season? Because let's be honest, feeling cold all the time isn't just a nuisance. It can make our joints stiff, our muscles ache, and in some cases even put us at risk for more serious issues like hypothermia. But here's the good news. There are simple, practical things we can do every day to keep the cold at bay, without having to blast the heater. Clothing and layering. Or bundle up like we're trekking through the Arctic. And believe me, after years of working with seniors, I've picked up some of the best tricks to help us stay cozy without sacrificing comfort. First things first, let's talk about clothing. I know. You've probably been told 100 times to just put on a sweater, But the secret isn't just piling on one thick layer and hoping for the best. No, my friends, the trick is layering smartly, because wearing the right layers can keep you warmer without making you feel heavy or restricted. Start with a good base layer, something that pulls moisture away from your skin. Now, you might not think you sweat much in the cold, but trust me, even a little dampness can make you feel colder if it sits against your skin for too long. A lightweight, breathable fabric like thermal underwear or even a simple cotton shirt works wonders. Next, you want an insulating layer, something warm like fleece or wool. This is what traps your body heat and keeps it close. And finally, the most important part, a protective outer layer to block out the wind and cold air. Something lightweight but windproof will keep the chill from creeping in. And don't forget about your hands, feet and head. As we age, our circulation slows down, and that's why our fingers and toes are always the first to feel like icicles. A warm pair of socks, gloves and a hat can make all the difference. I always tell people, if your feet are cold, the rest of you will be too, so keep them covered and cozy. Now, let's move to something we all love, food and hydration. Did you know that what you eat can actually affect how warm you feel? Our bodies generate heat through metabolism, and certain foods help stoke that internal fire better than others. One of the best ways to keep warm is with hot, nourishing meals. Think soups, stews, and hearty grains that not only warm your belly, but also give your body lasting energy. Foods rich in healthy fats, like nuts, avocados and olive oil, help keep you warm because they provide long, earth mid-lasting fuel for your body to burn. And of course, we can't forget about protein. Foods like eggs, fish, beans and lean meats support your metabolism and help maintain body heat. And here's something a lot of people don't realize. Staying hydrated is just as important in the winter as it is in the summer. I know we might not feel as thirsty in cold weather, but even mild dehydration can make us feel colder. So drink plenty of water, herbal tea, or hydrated drink throughout the day. It really makes a difference. Now, let's talk about our home environment, because no one wants to sit inside shivering. Turning up the heat isn't always an option, especially when energy bills start creeping up, but there are plenty of simple ways to keep your home warm without breaking the bank. For starters, blocking drafts is one of the easiest ways to keep heat from escaping. If you feel cold air coming in from under your doors, a simple draft stopper can make a world of difference. Thick curtains over windows help insulate rooms, and if your floors feel cold, adding an extra rug can help trap warmth. And let's not forget about blankets. I keep a few in my living room and bedroom because sometimes just wrapping up in a soft, warm blanket is all it takes to feel cozy again. And if you need a little extra warmth, a safe, energy-efficient space heater can be a lifesaver. Just remember to use it responsibly and never leave it unattended. Movement and exercise. Now here's something that might surprise you. Moving your body is one of the best ways to warm up. I know when we feel cold, the last thing we want to do is get up and move, but sitting for long periods actually makes us feel colder because our circulation slows down. And when blood isn't moving efficiently, our hands and feet stay cold. But don't worry, I'm not saying you need to start doing jumping jacks in the living room. Even gentle movements can help. Try marching in place for a minute or two, doing some seated leg lifts, or even taking a short walk around the house. Just that little bit of movement boosts circulation and gets your body generating heat naturally. And if you're someone who struggles with stiffness or joint pain in the winter, light stretching exercises can help keep your muscles warm and prevent that tight, achy feeling that tends to come with cold weather. And finally, warm drinks. Let's talk about warming up from the inside out. There's nothing quite like a warm drink on a chilly day, whether it's a cup of herbal tea, hot lemon water, or even decaf coffee. Something warm in your hands instantly makes you feel cozier, But here's something important. Be mindful of alcohol. I know a little glass of brandy might seem like the perfect way to warm up, but alcohol actually lowers your core body temperature over time. So while you might feel warm at first, it can actually make you colder in the long run. One last thing, don't ignore persistent cold sensitivity. When to see a doctor. Now, my friends, if you feel constantly cold no matter what you do, it might be worth checking in with your doctor. Sometimes feeling cold all the time can be a sign of an underlying issue, like anemia, thyroid problems, or circulation issues. If you've tried everything and still can't seem to warm up, don't just brush it off. Get it checked out. Conclusion. So there you have it. Simple, practical ways to keep warm and comfortable no matter how cold it gets. Layer up, eat well, keep your home cozy, move around, and pay attention to how your body feels. Because staying warm is not just about comfort. It's about health, happiness, and enjoying life to the fullest. My friends, getting older may change how our bodies regulate temperature, but that doesn't mean we have to spend our days shivering under blankets. With a little knowledge and a few simple changes, we can take control and make sure our homes and our bodies stay warm and comfortable. So the next time you feel that chill creeping in, don't just endure it. Do something about it. Put on that extra layer, get up and stretch, enjoy a warm cup of tea, and make your home a cozy, inviting space. After all, we've spent a lifetime creating a home filled with love and memories. Why not make sure it's warm and welcoming too? And before you head out, remember to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any tips on staying healthy, happy, and independent. Stay warm, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.